Namaste everyone, this is me Anuj, and today we are going to discuss about how you can get the maximum potential and you can do these few things before your exams even start. In the Vedic times of India, you must have seen there are a lot of Gurukul system which totally works and rely upon the archery, the wrestling and the other spiritual practices, the wisdom of Upanishad. Now you might have seen there are a lot of people who get study easily and they get very focused while the exams are very close to them and they get the maximum amounts of number. And whereas you always feel suffering because no matter how much time you give for your exam or your study, you always lag behind something. You might have seen a lot of people who are successful in the life because of not only the studies which have they done, but also the Yogic Kriyas and the practices they have implemented in their life. So I'm going to tell you the same way and the same methods which you can also apply in your life. Before we move ahead into the Yogic Kriyas and the practices which you will implement in your life, whenever you sit for the studies, you will see there are a lot to cover up, but you have a less amount of time. And this time fluctuations you can always change because you want to improve your quality of the study, not the quantity of the study. Because if you improve the quality, it's going to change the whole game of your exam and the concentration level. So to retain the maximum amount of knowledge, like olden times, people used to study chanting, the Sanskrit shlokas, and how it was possible to study such an advanced studies, that advanced twisting of the tongue in a different form, the mantras, the shlokas, the stotras. Now all you can do is by simply improve the oxygenation in the body, the flow of the prana. For many years, we always think that the yoga practices are all for the sages and the sannyasis who left their home. But do not worry, these practices you can also implement in your household life, because the yogis in the past, they have done lots and lot of researches like Patanjali, and they have came up with certain ideas which we can also implement in our life. There were new modern yogis who have also contributed in this, and all you gotta do is take these few things and whatever works for ourselves, start implementing. And why not? I'm going to tell you the reasons why you are lacking behind. The number one is the control. The reasons you can't study is because you have the less control over your mind. Sometimes you feel lazy, sometimes you feel procrastinate. You just delay your work, you delay your time. And most of the time when you sit for study, you just remember of something else which you might want to do. Maybe it's something which you have very important right now more than the studies. For example, if you are sitting for the studies, you start feeling hungry. And the moment you have your food, you start feeling lousy, drazy and sleepy. And there is no energy in the body. The nadis are completely blocked. The moment you start having your food, your belly start creating the heat and your body requires the energy to digest the food, and you cannot process the knowledge in your brain and you cannot have the tendency to retain any knowledge. Do not worry, we are going to talk and discuss about the 3 important factors which you can implement and it's going to help you. But before that, you have to specify your environment. Now you must have seen we all go to the temples, church, mosque and etc. to do our religious practices. And why we only go to the temple? Why we don't just practice at our home most of the times? Because everyone who goes to the temple, everyone who goes to the religious places, they go with the one motive, one intention and the one same ideology. Same thing you need to do with your studies. Whenever you sit for your studies, specify a particular place where you only do the studies. I've seen a lot of people, including myself, I used to study on my bed and my brain gets confused a lot of time, that because I have to study on my brain or either I'm going to bed for the sleep. And that confusion of the brain will not identify what problem you are going to solve over there. So always pick up the place where you're going to focus upon one single task. To specify a place. For example, if you have a chair or a table, you sit over there and only do the studies. Do not bring your food also over there because your brain needs to get accustomed with the environment. So pick your environment rightly. Now many of you will say you have a small space, so do not worry. Just find out the corners of the house, corner of the room. Specify every corner for a particular task and you will get sorted out. Do not give yourself excuses. Now I know very well that you cannot dedicate your time to do asana practice because you have to dedicate your time most of the time to retain the maximum knowledge. But your brain cannot experience a lot of strain. You have to give them release. You have to go out in the nature. But these 3 yogic kriyas will always help you. So we're going to talk about in detail. So number 1 yogic kriya is to do some mukha dhauti. The mukha dhauti is the process where it builds the heat, builds that fluid of the energy, start moving upward. Because many a times you may use your energies for different purposes. You start engaging in the entertainment, you start eating unnecessary food which is not giving you enough nutrients. So Mukha Dhoti will help you to digest your food quicker, but also develop that flame and opening of the nadi, especially the Vajra nadi, to open up that heat back again in the system. So that's why Mukha Dhoti is very important. All you have to do is you just have to take inhale through the nose and you have to exhale forcefully through the mouth. And when you do that, you're going to pull the belly in. You just do 5-6 times and you can sit for the step. The more oxygenation you have in your brain, same like glucose, you're going to have that more neurons, that more fluids flowing around in the system. The second is the Trataka Kriya. The Trataka is the most important practices yogis are doing for the ages and for a long period of time. The Trataka is the Kriya where you just take any object and you're going to focus upon without blinking your eyes. You become one with the object. But if you don't have a time to burn out the candle and to sit and you have a limited time, all you got to do is sharpen up your pencil, make that pinpoint a little peak, start gazing in front of you, keeping the one palm distance away from your face. And keep gazing at the tip of the pencil for quite some time and do not blink your eyes. Once you do that, you're going to see everything around. It's going to be blackened around and you're going to become one with the pencil. And that is how you can do the practice of Trataka. It's a very simple Trataka. There are various types of Trataka. Some people do on the water, some people do on the reflection, some people do on the fluid flowing from the top like a oil, and that is how you practice Trataka Kriya. The third and the most important practices are called the asana practice. I know you are very busy, you're very occupied. If you need to prioritize your studies, you have to do some form of movement of your body. I'm going to tell you a small simple tip which you can do in between your practices, and this practice is called dropping your neck from the bed. Now what happens is when you are dropping your neck like this, you are going to bring the circulation over your head. Many a times your eyes get strained if you're using your specs and if you are studying under a certain light. Now you will find your eyes needs the most amount of blood circulation and your muscles get contracted of your eyeballs. You are going to go to take that oxygenation and the blood straight from the brain and it's going to give you more strain. So all you got to do is to drop your head from the bed. Just do it for at least like a 10 seconds or 15 seconds and then you come back again for the study. You will see the improvement in your practice. Really effective. You can start with these small little baby steps. Now I have done 21 days of yoga classes online for free. You can also opt for that. That's a very easy and accessible way. But if you don't have that much time, a simple form of asanas, whichever you like. You practice that 30 minutes of a yoga practice, you are going to see the next hours of your studies are going to be creating more impact. The quality of your study will improve, and that is how you have to look upon these things. And do not get stressed about the exams. Try not to force yourself too much. Imagine you are holding a sand in your hand. The tighter you hold, the more it will drift away from your hand. So do not hold it. Just do whatever feels naturally to you, whichever comes naturally towards. These are the simple techniques which you can apply before your exam starts. So thank you so much and I hope you enjoy this video, and if you like, you can also comment down in comment box what you like to practice and what is your favorite thing to do.